The whispers began in forgotten places, in texts so ancient their very ink seems to have been transcribed from starlight and shadow. They speak not of gods who sculpted worlds from love, but of beings, the first architects, who wove the very fabric of our perceived reality. Imagine not a divine hand, but a cosmic craftsman, meticulously laying down the threads of illusion, the foundational blueprints of what we call existence. These beings, shrouded in an abyss of time, didn't create out of benevolence. Their work was an intricate construction, a cage built not of bars, but of belief, of sensory input, of the very laws we hold as immutable truths. We walk within spaces they designed, under skies they painted, experiencing a reality stitched together by their hidden agenda. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. And this design, this grand illusion, it had to be maintained. These architects, these primal forces, they didn't just build the cage, they devised the locks. Not metallic locks, but symbolic ones, etched into the very soul of humanity through rituals and archetypes that resonate even today. It's a subtle horror, isn't it? To realize that the world you inhabit, the air you breathe, may be a meticulously crafted stage. You've glimpsed the grand design, the possibility that our reality isn't organic, but engineered. But how was this ethereal prison meticulously constructed, and what ancient symbols were employed to solidify its grip? In the next section, we'll delve into the grimoires of imprisonment, the sealing arts that hold us captive. From the depths of forgotten lore, we unearth the grimoires, not as dusty books of spells, but as blueprints and instruction manuals for cosmic containment. These are the sealing arts, ancient techniques designed to bind, to limit, and to obscure the true nature of existence. Imagine a vast, ethereal prison, its walls not made of stone, but of carefully woven perception. These grimoires detail how to lower the vibrations of consciousness, how to reinforce the veil between what is and what is not, acting as celestial handcuffs on the human spirit. They speak of rituals that imprint obedience, that redirect spiritual energy away from liberation and towards the architect's grand design. It's a chilling thought that the very practices meant to elevate us might, in fact, be methods of subtle enslavement. We've been led to believe in spiritual disciplines that, when examined through the lens of these ancient texts, reveal themselves as sophisticated mechanisms of control, ensuring souls remain tethered to the cycle they were never meant to escape. These grimoires don't just offer spells, they reveal the underlying principles of a system designed to keep us unaware. But the methods of this sealing are not merely abstract, they are etched into the very geometric patterns that surround us. In the next section, we'll investigate the geometry of deception, the hexagons and cubes that form the hidden architecture of our confinement. The patterns are everywhere, aren't they? Look closely at the world around you. The hexagon, this seemingly benign six-sided shape, appears with an unsettling frequency. From the crystalline structure of snowflakes to the mesmerizing honeycomb of a bee's hive, to the swirling storms on distant planets, it's a signature. But these grimoires suggest this isn't mere coincidence. The hexagon is a keystroke, a lock mechanism embedded within the very fabric of our reality. It's a symbol of intricate order, yes, but also of entrapment, a geometric signature of the architects. Then there's the cube. Solid, unyielding, a symbol of earth, of matter, of what we perceive as concrete and undeniably real. Yet, when viewed through the ancient texts, the cube becomes a marker of earthly dominion, of being grounded in a manufactured illusion. It's the altar, the foundation upon which false temples are built, a stark representation of the physical prison we inhabit. These shapes aren't just aesthetic, they are vibrational keys, locks designed to hold us in specific energetic frequencies, preventing us from ascending beyond their crafted boundaries. These recurring geometric forms are not decorative. They are the very scaffolding of our perceived limitations, pointing to a deliberate architecture designed to ensnare us. But what is the ultimate seat of power that dictates the use of these symbols? In the next section, we'll uncover the secrets of Baal's throne, the foundational structure of this pervasive falsehood. Baal, the name itself, vibrates with an ancient, potent energy. In the old tongues, it signifies a lord, a master, and the texts that speak of the architects consistently place Baal's throne at the nexus of their power. This isn't a physical throne of gold or jewels, but an energetic anchor, the central command post from which the illusion is projected and maintained. Imagine it as the control room of our perceived reality, a place where the strings of fate are pulled, where the lines of our lives are drawn. This throne represents the apex of the architect's system, the point from which their influence radiates outwards, shaping our understanding of rulership, authority, and even divinity. It's where the fundamental lie is propagated, the idea that this constructed reality is the only one, that there is no escape from its predetermined paths. The very concept of true sovereignty is undermined from this source. Baal's throne is the embodiment of the architect's claim to dominion, the source of the system's authority. But the powers that preside here are not monolithic, and their influence is often disguised through subtle manipulation. In the next section, we'll explore Astaroth's inversion, the intricate game played with divine names and sacred feminine energies. Astaroth, a name that carries the weight of fallen angels and corrupted goddesses. Within the labyrinthine texts, Astaroth represents a key aspect of the architect's strategy, inversion. It's the art of taking something sacred, something pure, and twisting it, corrupting its essence to serve a darker purpose. The divine feminine, the source of creation and nurturing, is a prime target for this inversion. Think of how many powerful female deities and archetypes throughout history have been demonized, their wisdom twisted into malevolence. This isn't random, it's a deliberate act of spiritual warfare orchestrated by the architects. By corrupting the divine feminine, they neutralize a fundamental source of power that could otherwise disrupt their system. The sacred name itself, Astaroth, hints at this corruption, a distortion of a once powerful being, now used as a sigil of misdirection. This strategic inversion ensures that humanity remains disconnected from its innate feminine power and its primal connection to creation. It's a sophisticated game played with our very souls, where sacredness is weaponized against us. But the architect's influence doesn't stop at corrupting divine beings, it extends to the very cosmic architecture they've built. In the next section, we'll examine the six-pointed veil, the shadow cast by Saturn. Saturn, the ringed planet, a celestial body that has captivated and perhaps unnerved humanity for millennia. But its influence, according to these ancient texts, extends far beyond its physical presence. Saturn is not just a planet, it is a symbol, a cosmic marker, and a key component in the architect's grand design. The six-pointed veil refers to the symbolic architecture associated with Saturn, a pervasive pattern woven into our perception of the heavens and, by extension, our spiritual reality. This six-pointed structure, often seen in mystical traditions, isn't always a beacon of divine union. In the context of Saturn's influence, it becomes a veil, a cosmic curtain that obscures a deeper truth. It represents a duality, a binding force that traps energies within a cyclical, often karmic, framework. The veil suggests a layer of illusion, a distortion that prevents us from seeing the true, unhindered expanse of spiritual possibilities. It's a cosmic cage, its bars subtly disguised as sacred geometry. The presence of this veiled structure points to a deliberate manipulation of celestial energies, using Saturn's symbolic power to create a spiritual limitation. But the control exerted by this system is not just cosmic, it manifests in more subtle, insidious ways, echoing through the very sounds we perceive. In the next section, we'll explore Payman's whispers, the symphony of control that manipulates our perception through sound. Payman, another name that resonates with a chilling authority in the esoteric texts. Payman is often depicted as a guide, a revealer of secrets, but within the framework of the architect's system, these are secrets designed to control, not liberate. Payman's whispers are the subtle sonic frequencies, the carefully orchestrated vibrations that permeate our environment. Think of them not as random sounds, but as targeted waves designed to influence our thoughts, our emotions, and our very perception of reality. These whispers are the background hum of the illusion, the subliminal messages embedded in the noise of our daily lives. They are designed to create a specific energetic resonance, a tuning fork that keeps us vibrating at a frequency aligned with the architect's control. It's in the music we listen to, the announcements we hear, even the ambient noise of our cities. All of it can be a symphony composed to keep us in a state of passive acceptance, unaware of the deeper programming at play. Payman's whispers aren't just auditory, they are the sonic keys that unlock specific states of consciousness, states that make us more susceptible to the architect's influence. But this sonic control is part of a larger, more structured system. In the next section, we'll explore the infernal hierarchy, the architects of the system responsible for this intricate web of control. The architects of our confined reality are not lone entities. They operate within a complex hierarchical structure, a vast cosmic bureaucracy designed for maximum efficiency in maintaining the illusion. The infernal hierarchy, as it's sometimes called, is a system of command and control, with distinct roles and responsibilities dedicated to perpetuating the architect's dominion. This isn't chaos, it's organized oppression on a cosmic scale. Each entity within this hierarchy plays a specific part in weaving the perceptual walls. Some are tasked with obscuring knowledge, others with manipulating belief systems, and still others with directly enforcing the energetic boundaries that keep us tethered. It's a stratified system, where lower-level operatives carry out the directives of higher authorities, ensuring that the grand illusion remains undisturbed. The very concept of demons often refers to these operatives, beings of specific energetic signatures tasked with maintaining specific aspects of control. Understanding this hierarchy is crucial, for it reveals that our limitations are not accidental, but are the result of a deliberate, organized effort. But the origins of this system and the narrative that supports it have been meticulously shaped over millennia to ensure our compliance. In the next section, we'll examine how pagan roots were overshadowed by Christian shadows, a mythological redirection designed to control spiritual narratives. The story of our spiritual inheritance is one of deliberate, calculated redirection. Before the dominant narratives took hold, humanity was deeply connected to the earth, to nature's spirits, and to a pantheon of gods and goddesses representing all facets of life. This was the era of pagan roots, a time of vibrant, untamed spirituality. But the architects recognized the inherent power in these natural connections, a power that threatened their structured illusion. So a grand narrative shift was orchestrated, a reinterpretation of ancient myths and symbols. Christian shadows emerged, not as a divine revelation for all, but as a tool of assimilation and control. The old gods were demonized, their wisdom recast as heresy, and a singular hierarchical divine structure was imposed. This was not an evolution of belief, but a strategic conquest of the spiritual landscape, designed to sever humanity's deep-seated connection to the primal forces of creation and replace it with a system of obedience and atonement. This mythological redirection served to simplify belief, to create a unified front against any lingering remnants of the old ways, and to establish a new hierarchy that mirrored the architect's own. But the manipulation doesn't end with mythology and archetypes. It extends to the very notion of healing and well-being. In the next section, we'll explore Buer's deceit, the false healer's promise that distracts from true restoration. The desire for healing is a fundamental human need, a deep yearning to be whole. But within the architect's system, even healing can be a tool of deception. Buer, an entity often depicted in grimoires as a healer, represents this insidious brand of false restoration. His promise of mending is offered, but it comes with a hidden cost, a subtle trap that keeps us bound to the system. Buer's healing isn't about authentic spiritual or physical restoration. It's about patching the cracks in the illusion about providing temporary relief that discourages us from seeking true liberation. It's about addressing symptoms without ever touching the root cause of our spiritual malaise. These superficial fixes make us dependent on the false healer, reinforcing our belief in the necessity of external intervention rather than empowering us to tap into our own innate regenerative capacities. This false healing distracts from the deeper work required to shatter the perceptual walls. It offers a quick fix, a temporary balm that ultimately keeps us trapped within the architect's carefully constructed cycle of suffering and superficial recovery. But the illusion is maintained not just through spiritual and psychological manipulation, but also through the visual cues that reinforce the architect's authority. In the next section, we'll examine the black robes, the uniforms of the unseen forces that enforce this control. The black robes. They appear in historical accounts, in occult symbolism, and in the collective unconscious, a persistent visual motif associated with power, mystery, and often unseen authority. These robes are not merely ceremonial attire. They are the uniforms of the unseen, the visual markers of beings who operate behind the veil, tasked with maintaining the architect's system. These dark garments symbolize a merging with the void, a deliberate obscuring of individual identity to become a conduit for a higher, impersonal power. The wearers of the black robes are enforcers, agents of the architects, their presence designed to instill a sense of awe, fear, and unquestioning obedience. They represent the structured, unfeeling aspect of the architect's control, the practical execution of the grand illusion. Their appearance is a constant reminder that there are forces at play, forces that enforce the rules of the game and ensure that the perceptual walls remain intact. But the architect's influence is not limited to visual symbols. It extends into the very fabric of our sensory experience, particularly through the manipulation of sound. In the next section, we'll explore sound prisons, the frequencies of bondage that subtly control our minds and spirits. We live in a world of vibrations, a symphony of frequencies that constantly interact with our beings. The architects, however, have learned to weaponize this fundamental aspect of existence. Sound prisons are not made of audible noise, but of carefully selected and manipulated frequencies designed to influence our brainwaves, our emotional states, and our overall energetic coherence. These are the invisible bars that hold our consciousness captive. Imagine being bathed in a specific resonant frequency that subtly induces lethargy, suppresses critical thinking, or amplifies anxiety. This is the power of sound prisons. They are embedded in the ambient noise of our lives, in the media we consume, and perhaps even in the very air we breathe. The architects use these sonic weapons to maintain a specific energetic signature for humanity, keeping us in a state of disempowerment and spiritual slumber, making us less likely to question or resist their control. These frequencies are a silent, pervasive form of control, a constant hum that reinforces the architect's dominion without our conscious awareness. But the ultimate goal of this pervasive control becomes starkly clear when we consider the architect's most audacious manipulation, the cycle of reincarnation. In the next section, we'll explore soul harvesting, the eternal treadmill of rebirth designed for perpetual exploitation. The promise of an afterlife, of a spiritual continuation, seems inherently comforting. Yet, the ancient texts reveal a chilling truth about the cycle of reincarnation as it is managed by the architects. It is not a path of spiritual evolution or rest, but a sophisticated system of soul harvesting. Each rebirth is a designed loop, a controlled re-entry into the illusionary matrix, ensuring that souls remain perpetually available for extraction. This cycle is meticulously engineered to prevent true liberation. Souls are recycled, their energy systematically siphoned off across lifetimes, serving as fuel for the architect's grand design. The concept of karma, often presented as a lesson for growth, can also be seen as a mechanism that ensures souls remain bound to the wheel, perpetually completing tasks designed not for their liberation, but for their continued servitude. It's a cosmic farm, and we are the perennial crop. The allure of rebirth, the promise of second chances, masks a grim reality of continuous exploitation. This cycle is the ultimate manifestation of the architect's long-term control, ensuring a never-ending supply of energy. But this systematic harvesting is often symbolized by powerful entities that embody the very essence of corruption. In the next section, we'll uncover Pazuzu's true face, the embodiment of the wind of corruption that infects us all. Pazuzu, the name evokes ancient Mesopotamian lore, a demon king associated with the southwest wind, with disease and famine. But within the context of the architect's system, Pazuzu represents more than just an ancient evil. He is the embodiment of the wind of corruption, a pervasive force that systematically deteriorates spiritual integrity and fosters decay. This isn't a localized disaster, it's a spiritual contagion. The wind of corruption is the unseen force that carries doubt, despair, and disconnection. It's the breath that erodes faith, that saps spiritual vitality, and that leaves us vulnerable to the architect's machinations. Pazuzu's true face is the face of pervasive decay, the subtle rot that sets into any system left unchecked, turning once sacred principles into instruments of entropy and despair. This corruption is the necessary byproduct of a system built on illusion and control. This corruption is the subtle but relentless force that prevents genuine spiritual growth and keeps us trapped in cycles of decline. It's a force that thrives on disconnection and fear, yet even as the ancient systems evolve, their core methods of control persist, adapting to the modern age. In the next section, we'll examine modern cults, the new iterations of these evolving systems of control. The architect's methods are not static. As humanity progresses, so too do the subtle mechanisms of their control. Modern cults, in their myriad forms, are the contemporary manifestations of these ancient systems of imprisonment. They have shed some of the overt rituals of the past, replacing them with more sophisticated psychological manipulation, information control, and the exploitation of modern anxieties. These cults, whether religious, political, or social, function as miniature versions of the architect's grand design. They isolate individuals from their inherent wisdom, enforce rigid belief structures, and siphon off personal energy and critical thinking into the collective will of the group. The leaders often act as intermediaries for the architects, channeling their directives and ensuring the continued adherence of their followers to the imposed reality. They offer a sense of belonging and purpose, a manufactured alternative to the authentic spiritual connection that the architects seek to suppress. These modern cults are testament to the enduring power of the architect's blueprints, demonstrating how their systems of control adapt and thrive, even in the face of rapid societal change. But understanding these systems, recognizing their pervasive influence, is merely the first step towards liberation. In the final section, we will discuss shattering the walls, the profound act of reclaiming our innate spiritual sovereignty. You've seen the intricate design, the ancient symbols, the subtle sounds, and the cyclical traps laid by the architects. You've felt the weight of the illusion, the echoes of forgotten texts, and the chilling logic of soul harvesting. Now, the most crucial question arises: how do we break free? How do we shatter these perceptual walls and reclaim the spiritual sovereignty that has been systematically denied? Shattering these walls begins with recognition. It's the conscious decision to see the illusion for what it is, to question the reality presented, and to disengage from the frequencies of control. It's about remembering your innate power, cultivating your inner knowing, and severing your energetic ties to the architect's system of exploitation. This is not a passive process. It requires active participation, a fervent commitment to truth and freedom. Reclaiming your sovereignty means understanding that you are not a cog in a cosmic machine, but a divine spark capable of transcending any constructed limitation. It's about recognizing your place in the true, unbound cosmos and aligning yourself with that pure, unadulterated essence. The journey is arduous, but the prize is absolute liberation and the rediscovery of your own divine, untamed spirit. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.